Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
You're listening to TFG Cricket.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to a new episode of TFG Fantasy Cricket. Well, yesterday was the day. Our team did well. We spoke about Shaun Marsh. He has to be the captain in the semis for the fantasy cricket team. It did click for us. There was one question on Twitter towards us that he spoke about. Our title was the top order will come into action, and he commented saying that top order and give us a laughing smileys. Well, we meant Shaun Marsh, okay, over there. He was our captain and he really did click. Moving on to today's second semi-final in Big Bash League between Brisbane Heat and
Sydney Sixers.
Vivek Krishnan is with me. The big catch, Sam Badri is in. Vivek, your thoughts?
Yes. Huge news for the Brisbane Heat. Their champion spinner is back. But before I get into today's fantasy cricket, I would like to finish what you started. So the headline that carried Shaun Marsh and people commenting, unfortunate fans or unfortunate star losers, I should say. Some people don't understand, just go by the headline, don't read the content, and this is what happens. So, tough luck to you, and we hope you learn from your mistakes. Anyway, so coming back to today's match, I think Samuel Badri is a champion bowler. He has been taking regular wickets with the new ball. Mind you, he bowls in the power play. And they also have a tremendous backup in Swepson, who has stepped up to the occasion and has been bowling wonderfully during the middle overs. So they have a decent makeup. Obviously, there is Steketee, there is Ben Cutting. Ben Cutting is a cause of concern because he's really gone for a lot of runs. Then there is Jack Wildermuth. So it's a decent attack, and obviously the influence of Brendan McCullum at the top of the order will definitely do them wonders. After the one-match suspension he received from the BBL governing council, he was back, and he was back with vengeance. He scored 50 in absolutely no time, demolished the opposition, and that obviously took Brisbane Heat into the semi-finals. Sure, they will miss Chris Lynn, and to everybody out there listening to us, please don't pick him because he's out injured with I think he's got a neck issue. And you talk about the other batsmen, there is Alex Ross, there is Joe Burns. Sam Hazlett has been doing very well opening the innings.
Vivek, this fight between Joe Burns and Alex Ross, who will you go for? Because you have to pick one. If you pick two, both of them, you have to go handicap with either one of the big batsmen or a big bowler.
Yes. That is obviously a very, very confusing situation that you could end up with. But my call would be, I don't think you could really compare the two, and you just have to go with Alex Ross, probably because he might bat one slot ahead of Joe Burns.
Okay.
But again, T20 format is a very funny and strange one, and anything can happen on a particular given day. So, but given the record, you just pick Alex Ross, and also because he's someone who likes the ball to come onto the bat, and because they are playing at the Gabba, the conditions probably might suit him better.
Yeah.
That's all. You can't read much into it otherwise. So that's that from the Heat camp.
Also in Heat, Wildermuth and Steketee has become such a compulsory picks.
Absolutely. Not too sure for this match though, Nikhil. Obviously, we pick Steketee, who has been their strike bowler with the new ball. He also comes back at the death and bowls those wonderful deliveries, which obviously gets him wickets again. So I think we've spoken enough about the Heat camp. We have covered the batsmen, all-rounders and bowlers. Time we move on to the Sixers team. So, Nikhil, Moses Henriques, he started from game one. We were all wondering if at all he's going to bowl. And finally, we saw him bowl before the semi-finals. And that was, again, just goes to show how much balance he brings into the team, how much value he adds if he starts bowling. He might only bowl 2 or 3, but that's what you need. If you get a wicket here and there, boss, it's a bonus. And then I think he might bat number 4 because of the pressure situation that they are in. Obviously, openers in Michael Lumb, there is Daniel Hughes, who has been fantastic for them opening the batting. One down could be Colin Munro. I don't know, because the Kiwi has not been in the greatest of touch.
In Big Bash.
That's correct. He was obviously picked because he scored a
54,
100,
yeah.
54 ball 100 in New Zealand. But you haven't seen that kind of a form in Big Bash, so that is disappointing. Should you pick him? No, because you have to go by form. Then there is Nick Maddinson, there is Brad Haddin, Johan Botha. All these guys are very, very useful cricketers. But our pick obviously would be the two openers, Michael Lum, Daniel Hughes, Moses Henriques, and Nikhil's eternal favourite Ben Dwarshuis. He's one seamer that I completely dislike.
You just said we go by form.
We go by form, and that's the only reason we are picking him. I would have almost picked Jackson Bird ahead of him, but Nikhil said no, this guy has been getting all the wickets. So, he's one of those bowlers, just like James Faulkner, just like Hardik Pandya. These guys just don't bowl wicket-taking deliveries. They are in the right place at the right time, and a fantastic fielder is waiting, pouching. So all these things happen, but at the end of the day, fantasy points counts, not how classy you are or how effective you are. Okay. So that's what it is. Our captain obviously has to be Brendan McCullum, leading from the front, coupled by Moses Henriques. We pick Moses ahead of anybody else because he might bowl, and like you saw in the last game,
you have picked only one all-rounder.
Because the round is not throwing up too many. Yes, there are a few guys in Johan Botha, there is Jack Wildermuth, there is Ben Cutting. But Nikhil, I don't think Johan Botha will have a big role to play at the Gabba. Having said that, funnier things happen. But because you already have Sean Abbott in your bowling and Ben Dwarshuis, you really can't flood your team with 3 or 4 bowlers from the same team, because you also need to make sure that Brisbane Heat bowlers are in your team, because they have been doing wonderfully well. They are playing in their own backyard, so they understand the conditions better. So that's the makeup of our team. Good luck, boys and girls.
Just reiterate your team.
Yeah, so like I said, Alex Ross, Daniel Hughes, Michael Lum, Moses Henriques, Brendan McCullum, keeper slot. It's again a tough call, but because Jamie Pearson is opening and Brad Haddin won't, we go with Pearson. Bowling is Samuel Badri, Swepson, Steketee, Sean Abbott and Ben Dwarshuis. So
okay, guys, that's the semi-final. Second semi-final.
Hopefully it clicks, because semi-1 we had a ball of a time. Everybody won. Some disappointed fans will, that's always the case. It's okay. Even Jesus Christ was crucified. So who are we? Not a problem.
Okay. Now let's move our attention to South Africa, where the big news has dropped in. AB de Villiers is back into the team. We are talking about South Africa versus Sri Lanka, the T20 that is happening over there. Big news in the cricketing world. AB de Villiers is back.
Massive, man, massive. He just clobbered a century in no time in a practice match. But again, Nikhil, international cricket is a different ball game altogether. Should you pick him? After a lot of analysis, thinking, bias and all, I said, okay, I'm not going to pick AB de Villiers for this match. Okay, for 2 reasons. Because he's just so expensive. If you pick him in your squad, what happens is your budget takes a hit, number one. Number two, I don't know where he's going to bat. I read I read reports that Farhan Bayardin said he might bat 3, David Miller might bat 4, and he himself, Bayardin, might bat 5. There is also a confusion at the top, Smarts, Heino Kun, or whether it's going to be Tino De Bruyne. You don't know. It's a guessing game, and what we have done here is we have played it absolutely safe. We are not picking the 2 guys, that is Smuts and De Bruyne. We are picking Heino Kun because he scored 42 in the second T20. So we go with him. And then you talk about news from the Sri Lankan camp. Angelo Matthews won't be there. He's going back to Sri Lanka. Nuwan Pradeep won't be there. Gunatilaka won't be there. All these guys are going back, some for personal reasons, some have got injured along the way. But Sri Lanka have quite a few decent replacements. Isuru Udana has done very well. Kulasekara has chipped in. Not sure whether Suranga Lakmal will play.
The spinners have come into action.
The spinners have done very well. Lakshan Sandakan has done very well. Patirana probably might not get a game. Chandimal will lead, open with Kusal Mendes or Dhananjay De Silva. So that's the makeup of the Sri Lankan team. And South Africa, it's very straightforward. For this game, we omit Andile Felukwayo because he's been smashed all over the park. We pick Imran Tahir ahead of everybody else, and we saw what he did in the first 2 games. Aaron Fangiso might not find a place in this team. That's where we feel Wayne Parnell and the other guy, Nikhil's favourite, Lungi Ngidi, has done wonderfully well. He's becoming a sensation in South African cricket. He's bowling very fast. The Sri Lankans are all at sea. So, I probably, it's too early. We're still about 7-8 hours away from the game. We will
keeper spot goes to De Quilla?
It goes to Dikwela because Moseile bats number 5 or number 6, and with so many quality at the top, De Villiers, Miller, Behardine, Kuhn and all, you don't know where this guy will bat. So that's how it is. I also have a very funny feeling that Wayne Parnell could be promoted, Nikhil, today, because like we saw in the recently concluded Ram Slam, he was just unstoppable, man. He opened the batting, he opened the bowling, did wonderfully well. So probably, they might go down the same route. We'll have to wait and see. But
are you ready with the Fantasy 11?
Very much. For the time being, what I can tell you is AB de Villiers has been omitted from our team. He might play, I hope he doesn't score. Yeah, because otherwise we would be made to look very, very silly at the end of the day. So our pick obviously is...
It's the case like Hashim Amla in test matches. You don't pick him, he scores 200.
I know, but there are two different situations here. Somebody's coming after a long layoff, Nikhil. You don't know. He's going to be nervous. He's going to go for...
so how about picking him in the team and not...
Then again, it affects your budget. You cannot afford to have Miller, Behardine and De Villiers. You can't have all three. If you have all three, then you need to omit an Imran Tair or a Dinesh Chandimal. You don't do that. Then it goes completely awry. So to give a good balance, to give a good look, you have to compromise somewhere. And that's where I feel you have to say AB de Villiers not today. And I hope you don't. Genuinely hope you don't score today. 10-15 shouldn't be a big problem. Anything more than that, few lofty shots here and there, completely we could be losing leagues. So I don't want to see that situation arise. Anyway, so our captain will be David Miller. And we expect another high-scoring game. And vice captain has to be... we're unsure till now, but by the time our column comes up, it has to be either Dinesh Chandimal or Wayne Parnell or Ngidi. So we'll see. Good luck.
Okay, guys.
Make sure you note all these changes because quite a few people have come in. Some have left the camp. So don't play handicap. As long as... in case you want to give us some free money, maybe you can end up in our leagues.
Okay, guys. We'll be doing few things from now onwards in our podcast that we'll be taking up your tweets or your messages that you send to us, and we'll be, discussing on that why we picked this player, why we didn't
Only
pick
constructive criticism.
Constructive. Please don't.
We don't give free coaching.
Yeah. So that's the change that will be you'll be seeing in the coming podcast. You can read our articles on thefangarage.com. You can follow us on Twitter at TFG Fantasy 11 and on Facebook as Fantasy Pundit. You can listen to our podcast on podcasting platforms such as Indusvox Media, SoundCloud, Audio Boom, iTunes, and definitely on YouTube. Subscribe, share, like, and comment. Till then, keep hunting.
Our podcasts bring all the boys to the yard, and damn right, they're better than yours. But you don't need to stand outside in the yard. Just follow IVM Podcasts on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We might be on Tinder too. Just go ahead and swipe right.